We're surrounded by a completely invisible world of radio signals. Right now, all around you, it's this chaotic, noisy mess. But what if you could not only see this world, but actually understand it? Well, today, we're diving into the advanced signal processing that does just that, turning all that chaos into pure, usable intelligence. Oh, and just a quick heads up, this is part 11 in our big 15-part explainer series on radio frequency interference. We're definitely building on some ideas we've already covered, so if you're just jumping in now, you might want to check out the earlier parts first to get the full picture. All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to talk about the huge challenge of turning noise into intelligence. Then we'll get into how to read a super important visual tool, the waterfall display. After that, we'll look at how we can automate the search for signals. And finally, we'll walk through a systematic 4-step analysis. Sound good? Let's get to it. Okay, so let's start with the fundamental problem here. The modern radio spectrum, it's like an ocean of raw data, just a constant, overwhelming flood of information coming at you all the time. And that really brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? How on earth do you find that one single problematic signal when it's buried in a whole sea of invisible radio noise? It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack you can't even see. And this is exactly what we're up against. Look at this. The raw data from the spectrum is just a fire hose of information. Without the right tools, without the right techniques, it is completely meaningless. It's just digital noise. A beautiful but pretty useless mess. And that is where the magic happens. The solution is signal processing. We're talking about incredibly powerful digital algorithms that can take all that chaotic raw data and completely transform it. They pull out the meaningful patterns and turn it into what we call actionable intelligence, information we can actually use. So, if we're going to make sense of this chaos, we first need a way to see it. And that leads us perfectly into our second section, where we're going to learn how to actually see the language these signals are speaking. This right here is a spectrogram, but honestly, pretty much everyone calls it a waterfall display, and you can see why. It gives us this incredible dynamic picture of the radio world. All you need to know is this: frequency runs left to right, time flows from the top down, and the brighter the color, the stronger the signal is. Simple as that. Now, here's the really cool part. Different kinds of signals create their own unique visual fingerprints on this display. So a continuous signal, like an FM radio station, shows up as a solid vertical line. A pulsed signal, that looks more like a dashed line. And more complex signals, the ones that hop between frequencies or sweep across them, they create these really distinct diagonal or stepped patterns. You are literally learning to read the secret code of the airwaves. And it's not just the legitimate signals that leave a signature. Interference does too. So broadband noise, maybe from a faulty power supply, creates these wide, ugly vertical streaks. Electrical arcing, that looks like just random, angry bursts of color all over the place. You can even spot things like harmonic relationships, which appear as these neat parallel lines. Once you know what to look for, the interference practically screams at you from the screen. Okay, so manually staring at a waterfall display is a great way to start, but let's be honest, it's not always efficient, especially when you're dealing with tons of data. So in this next section, we'll see how we can automate the whole process and let the machine do some of the heavy lifting. The simplest way to automate is with something called basic thresholding. You just set a fixed power level and say, hey computer, let me know if anything gets louder than this. It's simple for sure, but it can get fooled really easily by changing conditions. A much smarter approach is adaptive thresholding. This method is constantly measuring the background noise around it and then sets the trigger level just a little bit above that. It's way more reliable in a dynamic real-world environment. Now, if you want to get really sophisticated, we can use an advanced technique called Wiener filtering. This is a seriously powerful algorithm for not just detecting, but actually suppressing or removing interference right from the spectrogram data itself. The absolute best way to understand Wiener filtering is to think of it like the noise reduction tool in your favorite photo editing software. I mean, the algorithm looks at the spectrogram as if it's an image. It identifies patterns that look like interference, and it intelligently removes them, all while doing its best to preserve the signals you actually care about. It's basically Photoshop for radio signals. It is incredibly clever. All right, let's bring all of this together. Our final section is all about putting this theory into practice. We're going to lay out a clear, repeatable process for finding and analyzing any signal. This 4-step method is really the core of modern analysis. It all starts with step 1, spectral estimation. This uses a fancy math tool called the fast Fourier transform, or FFT, to change the raw data into that frequency view we need. Step 2 is noise floor estimation, where we figure out what the normal background noise level is. Then, step 3, signal detection. We compare the power of everything we see against that noise floor to find anything that stands out. And finally, step 4 is parameter estimation. For anything we found, we measure its key characteristics, like its exact frequency, its bandwidth, and its power. And that is the key takeaway here. This structured, repeatable method is what truly transforms that flood of raw data into real intelligence. It gives us a reliable process to find, identify, and understand what's happening in the radio spectrum, which empowers us to solve some incredibly complex, real-world problems. It really makes you think, doesn't it? We've just talked about how to decode the invisible language of radio signals. So it kind of begs the question, what other invisible patterns in our world, in data, in nature, maybe even in society, are just out there waiting for the right tools and the right techniques to finally be seen and understood?